Yo, what's up everyone, it's Monkey. I'm back for another video. In today's video, we will be discussing What If Goku Had a Sister Part 6. I am extremely hyped for this one as it will be ending the Namek saga and we will be moving on to more arcs. So before we get into it, make sure you leave a like down below. Let's try to get this video to 300 likes and make sure you subscribe so you know when more parts come out. You're probably confused as to why this part is coming so soon, and that's because it is December, one of my favourite months personally. So yeah, I'm gonna be nice to you lot this month. And another thing that is happening this month is my birthday on the 23rd of December, and so on the 23rd of December I will have my new What If. It's been a while since I did a new What If, and you will all be shocked to see it. You've never seen anything like this done before, so make sure you tune into the channel on the 23rd of December, as there will be a big What If from 1 PM EST, 2 PM EST, hopefully roughly around that time. That's when I'll be uploading it. Yes, as there will be a big What If. You have never seen anything like it before, I promise you. Trust me, you're going to love it. I think hopefully you're going to love it because it's such an interesting concept in my opinion. So yeah, make sure you have your post notifications on, you have the bell on, so you know as soon as I upload, you don't want to miss when I upload it. And make sure you follow my Instagram because I am planning on posting art there soon. So yeah, with that being said, let's get right into it. Gohan and Terza cry as their brother, as a father, has passed away. Their sadness has slowly been becoming rage. As they both scream in unison, they both explode with power. Their power levels rocket up. It begins to multiply by 2, four times, 8 times, 16 times, 25 times. No, their power is multiplying by 50 times. A lightning bolt crashes down as Terza screams, achieving Super Saiyan. Then, right next to her, her nephew, Gohan, also transforms into Super Saiyan. Without a second thought, Gohan rushes into King Cold, unleashing multiple attacks with help from Piccolo and Nappa. Terza then follows up behind them all and begins to help out. Now Terza has a power level of about 180 million, whereas Gohan has one of about 50 million. And if you're wondering who did this Terza art, it was done by Major League Gaming Trap. His link will be down in the description below. And in fact, if you see any custom artwork like this one, and Final Form King Cold, for example, or anything else that's obviously not been in any games or anything like that you've seen before, it's definitely done by him because he's the only one who I get fan art done from. So yeah, so we see Terza and Gohan beating King Cold up. They are enraged. Goku was killed by him, and he was a galactic tyrant. He was no better than his son, and he needed to be taken out. However, it quickly came to fruition that Namek only had a couple of minutes before it exploded, which means they would have to defeat him quickly. Terza had an idea, however. She knew exactly what to do. It had come to her head. She told everyone to keep going. If they kept this up, Cold would be defeated. She had a sort of plan brewing in her mind. King Cold had been weakened greatly by all this fighting and of course the Kamehameha from Goku right before he died. This meant his power level had dropped significantly from before, and he was barely even at 50% of his power. He was struggling to say the least. And as King Cold had ruled for so long, without really fighting, no one had really opposed him, he had grown complacent. So we saw that Frieza got weaker by doing nothing while he was in hell, and I mean, it does make sense. If you don't fight anyone or use any of your forms, you're going to decrease in strength over time quite a bit. And this was true for the king. He had one last ace up his sleeve, but it was quite risky. It had been years and years since he had used it. He didn't even know if he could access it. Terza realized, however, that King Cold began to grow in strength. He began to grow in power. She quickly told Dende to go and make a wish to Porunga. He was a bit confused. What was this wish? And she wanted everyone to be teleported off of Namek to Earth, except her, King Cold, and the rest of his army. King Cold, however, was beginning to change. The fighting had stopped as his power continued to burst. His power was now far too much for any of them. His power level was now closing in at that of 850 million. This was his fifth and final form. Now, he would have been a lot stronger had he actually used this form like before, but he just hasn't used it at all. And, and the form is going to decrease in strength. It's like wearing a rusty old suit of armor, if you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, there's not much he can do. Now he begins to fight everyone, and he just begins to beat down on them. No one stands a chance against him at this point. He's way stronger than any of them, and the Saiyans are all just trying to keep up with him. I mean, they're lucky. King Cold should be a lot stronger, but I mean, that's what happens when you get overconfident and you don't train, you don't fight anyone at all. So yeah, everyone's getting beat down. They don't stand a chance. I mean, they have, 2 Super Saiyans and they're still losing. I mean, think about it. Can you imagine how powerful King Cold must be? So they continue to fight against King Cold as he continues to beat down on the Namekian and the 3 Saiyans. Gohan continues to get angrier, and he actually does receive a power boost off of rage. Terza does think about how they can beat him because she still has a plan in her mind. She's still trying to figure out what they're going to do, and she knows that he is really drained on stamina. And this form is obviously draining him quite a bit too. But she can actually use that to her advantage. She can't use that to her advantage because Namek is about to blow up. What Terza doesn't know, however, is that King Cold can't survive in space, and that will be her undoing. But she does have a plan. All she needs to do is render King Cold immobile, and then just wait for Namek to blow up and kill him. Of course, she doesn't know that he can survive in space, and she thinks that this is a perfect idea. She wants to make it so he can't move, and she has just the plan for it. She whispers something into the enraged Gohan's ear, trying to calm him down a little bit, but still keeping the rage going. She is actually able to stay quite calm compared to her nephew, funnily enough, and she tells Piccolo and Nappa her plan too. Piccolo agrees that this is a great idea, and King Cold gets angry, rushing at them because they're just ignoring him. Nappa tries to hold him off, keeping him busy because he's not really involved in the plan, which does cause Nappa to actually take quite a lot of damage considering how weak he is compared to him. Piccolo begins to unload multiple ki blasts at King Cold. Smoke kind of begins to form around him as he is being distracted by all these blasts from Piccolo and Nappa, who's kind of just taunting him. Now, he doesn't even remember there are 2 Super Saiyans that were fighting him as he continues to block this onslaught of attacks. I could even see Nappa using his giant explosion, I believe is what it's called, the 2 fingers attack, basically, on King Cold, who's just being, he can't do anything, he's just stuck blocking as all these attacks are being fired at him. However, what he didn't see while he was so distracted was Terza. Terza was hiding behind Piccolo, and she immediately flies at him. King Cold is shocked as he then tries to turn around to avoid it. He sees Gohan, who's also heading straight for him. He's now sandwiched between them both, as both of them are flying at him. He then notices that they have something on their hands. They have some discs. Yes, both of them are holding 2 Destructo discs, which actually makes 4 Destructo discs. And they each launch them at King Cold, who can't avoid them. He can't do anything. He's stuck in all these blasts, and these 4 Destructo discs are coming at him. He does actually manage to avoid one of them as, he bursts his power a bit and he's able to, just about avoid one of them from Gohan. Though it doesn't really matter because, his weakened body, it can't really do anything compared to the other 3. As they all slice him up, he screams as his body is ripped from limb to limb. He falls onto the ground of fiery ash and he looks up, shrieking at Terza. Terza looks down at King Cold. Having a sigh of relief, her plan had worked. She could sense that Dende was probably about to make the wish, and she hugs Gohan, seeing Porunga in the sky. She tells him that he's gonna go see his mum now, and Gohan asks, what about Terza? When he's going to see her? Terza tells him that she's his auntie. She promised, however, that she would keep him safe. Everyone is then teleported away, as Gohan vanishes out of Terza's arms. She looks down at King Cold. She looks down at the Emperor in his sliced body. He's been decapitated. Well, not really decapitated. He still has a bit of his chest, but basically decapitated. He's lost his legs. He's lost both his arms. Sorry, he's lost actually one of his arms. And he's in a similar state to what Frieza was back when he tried to throw his Destructo Disc at Goku. He can't do anything. but he still has enough energy to fire one last blast at Terza. He tries to fire this blast at her, and Terza looks down at King Cold, charging her own blast in one hand. She launches it at King Cold, who tries to, retaliate. She screams at him, "Just die already!" as his body is then hit by the blast. She begins to take down multiple of King Cold's men as they try and avenge their ruler, their king. However, she's a Super Saiyan. These are all nothing to her. She's easily able to defeat and basically kill most of them, as she then crashes their ship too, firing a ki blast at them. She's going to make sure that none of them escape. She has to make sure that King Cold's empire is finished, that his legacy is destroyed. And this is why she stayed on Namek, to make sure King Cold and his crew would die on this planet. She flies away, tiredly, thinking about trying to escape, but also thinking about her life. Thus far, she's happy. If she dies here, it's okay. She definitely wants to revive Alia, and she would like to settle down one day. But if she does die here, it's okay for her. She saved basically the universe, and saving the galaxy. She's happy. This is what her father raised her for. She's proud of it. She gets, she thinks about it. The threat of the Galactic Emperor has been perished. She thinks about it. All the stories she heard from her best friends back on planet Alia, from Gregor, the one who had trained her all those years ago, and her father, as she accepts that she's probably going to die on this planet, which is filled to the brim with death, destruction, and a blazing fire. But among all of this destruction, she's happy. She's happy to die on this planet, because at least she protected Gohan and kept her promise. She continues to search for a ship as the planet seemingly explodes, with Terza and King Cold, as well as a bunch of Frieza soldiers and King Cold soldiers, all dying on the once peaceful world of the Namekians. As we see the planet explode, we can only assume that they've all been killed. We see someone arrive at the scene of the destruction, however. They're a little late, but they have a grin. You might be wondering who this is, and it's a certain brother. Back on Earth, we see everyone teleport as all the Namekians, all the Z fighters, all arrive. Gohan does actually fall out of Super Saiyan, as the family of Frieza, King Cold and Frieza, of course, has seemingly perished. And I think we'll end this part there. I know it was a little shorter than you probably expected, and not as much happening in this part as you probably expected, but in this part I really just wanted to wrap up Namek, and I have realised that this series is going to be extremely long considering what I have planned for it, so I might have to split it up into Z and Super separately. But to be honest, we shall cross that hurdle once we reach it. I'm not going to worry about that too much. If you did enjoy, make sure you drop a like down below. As I said before, it would be greatly appreciated if you could get this video to 300 likes. As I also said before, I have a big what if coming next week on Wednesday, the 23rd of December. So yeah, look out for that. Also, make sure you follow my Instagram, because I will be posting some art down there. I'm working on some drawings that I'm going to be posting down there. I'm going to see how well they do. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be posting art there forever, but you should definitely check that art out. I will be doing Dragon Ball art, but first I'm just going to post just stuff that I like. So yeah, and with that being said, make sure you have no post notifications on so you don't miss any of my videos. So yeah, with that being said, I will see you all in the next video. Laters!